This, guys, is the quintessential kitchen tool. It's not an accessory, but there's a way to do it right, and there's definitely a way to do it wrong. So today we're gonna be making 5 of my favorite skewers: chicken, steak, shrimp, halloumi, and zucchini. And they're all different. I'm gonna show you how to cut them, I'm gonna show you how to stack them, and most importantly, I'm gonna show you how to grill them. We are gonna create a feast. The first kebab that we're going to do today is the steak. I like to cut the steak into 1 by 1 inch pieces, and sirloin to me is one of the perfect cuts for that. The reason why I cut it that way is because I can control the cooking. So if the steak is 1 by 1, it gives me an opportunity to cook it to medium rare, but it will remain juicy and tender. For the steak, I'm going to be using a dry rub. A dry rub is really a melange of spices. So I choose to pre-mix my spice blend. I'm going to add a little bit of brown sugar, smoked hot paprika, some black pepper that's freshly ground. We have some cumin, a coriander, and a little bit of salt for right now. Why are we using brown sugar? You know when you make a cake and there's a pinch of salt in there and then like that salt takes out the sweetness? It's the same thing with the sugar on the savory side. So with these spices, a little bit of that sugar is actually gonna make not the spices sweet, but kind of round out the flavor in these spices as we mix them together. Now, I know I told you that this was a dry rub, but to be honest with you, I'm gonna add a little bit of olive oil and a very scant amount because I want the steak to have some moisture to it so that the steak seasoning sticks to it. The reason why I use a dry rub on the steak is we want to maintain the flavor of the meat. I want to taste steak when I'm eating it. So the dry rub on top, it's not really going to penetrate deep inside. The flavor is going to be the first thing that you taste on your tongue, and then you're going to bite into that juicy meat. And that's what we all want, right? The steak flavor. Next step is to skewer our kebabs. You don't want to cram them together. You want to leave a little bit of space, maybe like 1/4 of an inch between. And you can see that the skewer is showing here, and that's gonna ensure that heat's flying through that as it's on the grill. We're gonna get grill marks, and we're gonna be able to cook this medium rare, medium, whatever you'd like. And then we're ready to go. In my opinion, what people do wrong is that they love to load up these kebabs, these skewers, with different things. It's the wrong way. Why is that? It's because each of those things cooks at a different temperature at a different time, right? The red onion is never going to cook at the same time as the bell pepper or the piece of steak. The skewer allows you to get perfect cook on each of those items. This could all be done beforehand. You can have all your kebabs ready before your guests come. They'll be cut and marinated on skewers, and it becomes like this complete feast that you can enjoy while entertaining. So now, guys, the chicken. For this recipe, I like chicken thighs because I think that chicken thighs are juicy and they are just delicious. I don't know about you, but when I hear chicken skin, the only thing I want to hear is crispy and fried. We're not gonna get that texture when we're gonna grill it, so we're gonna take that off. We're setting ourselves up for success, guys, not failure. The other part that I like about this is that chicken takes marinade really well. Now, I know that you're gonna think that this sounds crazy, but I like to marinate my chicken between 2 and 3 days. Is that a long time? 100%. Do I want flavor? 200%. If you put this marinade on for a half an hour to an hour, it will do the trick. We're gonna need olive oil here. And the olive oil is the part that, yes, it adds flavor, but also it's gonna bind all of these things together. What I like about the lemon is that the acidity tenderizes the chicken. So I'm gonna use the zest because where there's zest, there's juice, and you have to use all of the fruit, in my opinion. Cut this lemon in half and juice it right into the olive oil. So I have a few cloves of garlic that I'm gonna put on the microplane, and I like to do this because the microplane actually cuts the garlic really, really fine, almost into a paste, and I don't have to worry about chunks of garlic on the grill. Black pepper is kind of like the quintessential foundation of seasoning, in my opinion, right? I add the turmeric because it adds color, but also a nice floral note. This is smoked paprika, which gives you a little bit of heat and smokiness. Cumin here, that's ground, which gives you those earthy notes, and cinnamon. And this is kind of like a secret weapon here. The cinnamon is gonna allow those other spices to really bloom. Are you gonna taste cinnamon? Maybe, but it's not gonna be an overpowering flavor. It's gonna be like that backdrop of, why is this so delicious? Don't tell anybody, it was the cinnamon. We're gonna add a little bit of salt here. You wanna have enough marinade that sticks to the meat so that as it's resting in the fridge, it's coating everything. You don't want this like sitting in copious amounts of this. It's wet, but it's not like dripping with marinade. And all that marinade that we put is glossy and on top of this meat. So we're gonna go in from kind of the bottom piece, right? And then we're gonna find a top piece and then put it through there. So it's almost like a ribbon. And the reason why is because you want to make sure that the chicken is getting enough surface area so that when it hits the grill, you're getting those beautiful and delicious grill marks. The most common mistake I find with people when cooking chicken is that they overcook it. You want to take them off a minute or two before they're overdone. And while they're sitting there resting before you're going to get your nice plate together for your feast, they're still cooking. Don't forget that the metal in the middle of this kebab is going to retain its heat. The chicken's done and we're moving on to the shrimp. Shrimp take on a lot of flavor. We're gonna do a dual marinade. And what do I mean by that? We're gonna make a wet marinade and we're gonna break half off. And while it's on the grill, we're gonna baste the marinade and after it's done so that we're getting that freshness from it. We're gonna start with one of my favorite ingredients, which is fresh ginger. What I like about this is that it stops the fibers from getting through, but it gives you that nice ginger pulp, which is where the flavor's at. Same thing with the lemon here. I use lemon juice in everything. A good amount of olive oil. And then I'm gonna use the grater to do some cloves of garlic. A little bit of our coriander, some smoked paprika, and then some chopped cilantro. The stems and the leaves have flavor. So don't always throw the stems out, guys. A little bit of salt, and then we're gonna need a good amount of olive oil. You really want this marinade to be wet. So the olive oil is kind of the thing that's gonna carry all that flavor. So before I put all the marinade in there, I'm gonna take about half of this, put it in the bowl. And what we're gonna do with this is that when the shrimp come off the grill, we're gonna baste the shrimp in that marinade. These shrimp have the tail on them. I love to pop out that little piece of meat that everybody forgets in there. This is something that you can do like the morning of. If you wanted to do it the night before, for sure that you can do that. So we are going to skewer our shrimp right underneath where this little bottom shell is. You're gonna put the skewer through the bottom and then through the top. What I like about this is that we're only gonna flip the shrimp one time. It's gonna cook flat on one side and then flip them over, and it's gonna be evenly cooked and beautiful. I am a late comer to shrimp. I always felt like, what was the purpose? It didn't have much flavor, but now that I've been marinating and skewering shrimp, like who doesn't love this? I also love shrimp because it cooks really quickly. Now that the shrimp is done, we're gonna move on to the zucchini. Zucchini doesn't have a lot of flavor, but yes, it will. Cut the ends off and the stems off. I cut it into rings like this. It's super easy. There's no sorcery or magic here, straight up cooking. I go up the center like this because they're not going anywhere. Simple is delicious. And also think about all the other flavorings that we've had on there. So sometimes you need a little reprieve, right? Sometimes you need something that complements it and not contrasts it. I'm gonna leave these plain. If I season this now, what's gonna happen is that it's gonna draw moisture out of the zucchini, and I don't wanna do that. And why is that? Is because I wanna get grill marks on these bad boys when they hit the grill. Okay guys, halloumi, the princess of grilling cheese. I mean, even on the packaging, it says the cheese that grills. Halloumi is one of my faves. It's like one of the few cheeses that you could actually grill, which I love. I'm a textural eater, and halloumi's got that squeakiness that everybody loves, right? Because it's so dense and kind of like compacted together, when you put it on a skewer, it's never gonna give you that melty feel that like provolone or mozzarella will. But what it does is it retains its shape and it gives you this beautiful texture and creaminess. We're kind of taking the same thickness as we did with the zucchini, and we're just cutting it. Sometimes halloumi's got this little Pac-Man situation. Don't fret, okay? Because once you put this on the skewer, and that's kind of why I'm going at an angle, it's gonna make sure that the cheese doesn't fall off. One of the inherent flavoring of halloumi is definitely that it has like some saltiness to it. There is some salinity there. This is something that I would put on the grill with a little bit of olive oil, but I'm gonna skip the salt. Because we're creating this kebab feast, I'm kind of thinking about the bigger picture. I'm thinking about how these flavors are gonna layer together. The skewers of the halloumi and the zucchini are gonna kind of offer a reprieve. They're gonna give a refreshment, if you will, to this entire kebab platter. All of the prep is done. We have our steak, our chicken, our shrimp, zucchini, and halloumi, and we are gonna season because we're about to head over to the grill. So I'm gonna add a little bit of olive oil to the proteins. So we're gonna season from far up here. You can see we're doing like a sprinkling. Okay, so make sure that every piece gets hit with a little bit of that salt. And then we're gonna flip them and do the same thing on the other side. The grill's ready to go, and we're gonna head over now. The game plan is kind of cook these in order of their doneness, meaning like the chicken's gonna take the most time, then the steak into the shrimp, halloumi, and zucchini, which probably will take all the same time. So I have the grill on medium hot. So you're looking for like what I call it the 5 count. So when you put your hand over the grill, you can count to 5. If you put it on here and you have a 2 count, it's ripping hot, and that to me will burn the exterior but not be able to cook the interior. We're throwing the chicken down. I'm putting the chicken kind of perpendicular to the grill marks because that's what I want to get them. If you don't have an outdoor grill, you can use a cast iron or a grill plate on a regular stove and it will do the trick. And now you have to exude a little bit of patience, right? I know that when people have tongs in their hands, they're feel inclined to kind of moving things. You want to kind of let the meat do its thing. The meat will not release from the grill. You get it stuck and you'll start to shred it if you pick it up and it's not ready to release. Steak's gonna go on. Same thing, I'm gonna go against the grill grates. And you don't wanna really jostle these skewers up much. You see the steak? If I try to lift this up, you see it's not going anywhere, it's not ready to be turned. When the meat is caramelized and that like Maillard reaction happens between the grill and the meat, then you'll know it'll be ready to turn. Chicken's looking really beautiful. As soon as it comes off the grill, let's hit it with a little bit of lemon and a little bit of sea salt. Now, why am I doing that? Picture it like a facial, right? If the chicken is heated up, all the pores are open. Right now, I'm gonna let it rest so it continues to cook a little bit, and it's also gonna soak in a little more seasoning. Shrimp going down, and we're ready for our zucchini. So remember, we didn't add any salt to the zucchini before, but we're gonna hit it with salt now. Halloumi down. Steak's ready. We kind of want there to be space in between these skewers when we're having them rest, because we want the heat to be dispersed. You don't want to like layer these kebabs on top of each other because they're hot and we don't want them to overcook. So we want to give them enough room to kind of breathe and rest. Okay, shrimp are ready. We saved the marinade to kind of re-marinate the shrimp. So we're gonna take a pastry brush here and be generous here. We're gonna do this on both sides. Just the way we put the lemon juice and the salt on the other proteins, we're gonna use this marinade to pack flavor in. You can smell the ginger, the coriander, the cilantro, the garlic. So the halloumi is sticking a little bit, so I'm gonna take a little fish spatula or regular spatula, kind of just nuzzle it around so that it can move over. If it falls off or flips, don't fret, you'll be okay. Wow, that's looking good. The zucchini is gonna get a little bit of salt, a nice squeeze of lemon. I want to give everything a little bit of drizzle of olive oil just to gloss this bad baby up. So we're done at the grill, and now we're gonna plate, and we're gonna see what this grilling feast looks like. Look what we have created. I am about to plate you the most beautiful kebab feast that you ever had in your life. So I'm gonna rip the bread a little bit, and we're gonna throw this some on the bottom. We'll keep some whole on the top here. And this is all about like aesthetically layering, right? Let everybody kind of serve themselves and do their thing. Beautiful juicy chicken. We have the zucchini that are going down that are probably the sleeper because nobody's gonna believe how delicious they are. And then who says no to halloumi? I might just like take these off a little bit so they kind of scattered around. If you wanted to cut them in half, do your thing. Don't forget they have that Pac-Man situation, so when your guests go in there and they rip them, they'll fly apart. Tomato, which is grated fresh tomato with olive oil, a little bit of garlic and oregano. I just kind of like to put this a little bit over the zucchini, let some of it touch the halloumi and the bread. We're gonna rip some of these fresh herbs off, finish this with some lemon, and then you're gonna tuck some lemons in here. Whole sprigs, guys. Whole sprigs. We're not cutting anything here. This is rustic. This is beautiful. This is the painting of your dream. Doing this with a little bit of that maldon, just as a kiss at the end. And you know I can't live without, I'm inclined to drizzle. Look at this. Honestly, it just makes you happy. I don't care if you're in a bad mood or whatever happened to you. You gotta pay your mortgage. This platter will put you into a good mood. I'm always gonna put the piece of the bread on the bottom because any of those juices that drip off from the meat are gonna be in there. And you know me, I'm gonna make a rip and dip moment. This is a mega bite, but you know I only take monster bites. Let's see what happens. The flavors are like igniting a party in my mouth. But the most like soulful part of this is that all the time that we took, right? From the preparation to grilling everything separate, everything is cooked properly, and the maximization of flavor is over the top, let alone like the visual appeal of this kebab feast. It's an easy way to entertain. When the kebabs hit a table, they always deliver. It's really a showstopper. I know you guys love me, and I know you love my cooking, so that's why you need Mediterranean all the way. This is my new cookbook coming out. It's got simple recipes like this for show-stopping moments for you at home. Kebabs for life.